Hey guys, what's up? Misha from GGD here, and today I'm super excited to show you our new Studio Cabs Zilla Edition. That's right, we updated the plugin, so now we have updated looks, we fixed a few bugs, and we added some features as well. We just smoothed the whole thing out. I mean, as you can see right here, it just looks a whole lot better, and the interface is a lot better. The icons, everything is just new and improved. This is, of course, a free update, so everyone who's purchased this already, you get this version now. That's great. And if you've been on the fence, well, hopefully this will convince you to check it out. And if that doesn't, then hopefully this video does, because I'm going to just demonstrate some tones I've dialed in and how I go about using this plugin. As we all know, or maybe some of you guys actually don't know this, but I do talk about this a lot. I think that cab sim, mic placement, all that kind of stuff is so important when it comes to your guitar tone. It makes such a drastic difference, and a lot of people kind of overlook that. And hopefully watching this, you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about, because sometimes if you dial in a tone and you're really happy with the character of it, but it's not sitting quite right, kind of the perfect solution is to just change the cab, change the mic, you know, and this gives you such a breadth of tools to work with, and these are captured all at such high quality that you really only have good options to choose from, and you don't have to sort through thousands of files. So this is supposed to be very user friendly. Anyways, I'm talking way too much. Let's dive right in. So I'm using my XFX3 for this, and I'll show you guys the patches I'm using. I mean, I just made these patches, but got this divided by 13 here. We've got a little compression here. Obviously, I'm using my MJ SoCal, my Strat. My signature model here. Yeah, divided by 13 amp. That's compressor. Got a little bit of graphic EQ here. Just this amp, the low end can get a little bit muddy. Might actually be cutting a little too much, but like chimey and pretty, right? And this is the same I kind of put together for this. Very simple, using this Studio Pro cab with the Alnico cream back, the Fat Boy with the Vintage 30. It's kind of a combo I like. And, you know, just kind of messing around with this. If we just mute this, you can hear just the Studio Pro. We could just keep adding stuff to this. This vertical cab, I was messing with it. I was thinking C414. A little bit more low end. So we took out the low end on the amp itself because it's kind of hitting the front end and make it a little bit muddy. So we can add it back on the back end. Sounds pretty good, I think. And I like to listen across like the different sounds, you know, so fourth position. One of the reasons that I'm using the Strat is because you could get so many different sounds, especially with this HSS setup here. So, but this is supposed to be like kind of a crunch. It's not really metal, right? You know, just because we could play around with it. Let's add some delay here. That's actually sounding really good. It's a good sound there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So you guys can feel free to copy all that stuff. Let's move on to another sound altogether. So the next preset that I made, let's see what's next on this list. Let's go something aggressive and genty. Now this is very warm. Might not be exactly what we're looking for. Let's take a look at the Swedish technique, which is one of my go-to things. I've added this this G12 on this. And you hear what a drastic difference the cab can make, you know? Also, one thing that we could talk about is an added feature here. One thing I don't need to use, but that depending on your setup, you may want to use. So we added a master EQ. This is just a general thing. You can't really edit it. And this is because some people, certain setups, maybe certain load boxes, if they're sort of putting their amp into a load box, found that there might not be quite enough high end. So this adds just a touch more. But with the Axe-Fx, it's kind of accounting for all that stuff already, so I don't need that. But you can always experiment with that. It's a global thing. So, you know, you can just leave it on if it's your kind of thing, but it's after everything. I'm not going to be messing with that, though. So an interesting thing, again, this is something I don't necessarily mess with, but you can get some pretty cool effects, is just flip the phase, right? So we're basically like removing the effect of this, especially directly against this cab. It's the same cab, well, it's a different mic setting. So a cool experiment that you can do is you just have two of the same thing, and if you phase cancel, well, you get nothing because it's phase canceling. So you can actually hear the sort of differences. You'll hear like that is technically you're hearing the difference between these speakers. Anyways, not that usable, but sometimes it could be a cool effect. So if we load this one back up, it's almost like instead of adding this G12, it's taking it away. Gives it kind of a scoop sound. So that's kind of a cool trick. If you guys want to see the patch that I'm working with here, because some of you may want to. So we've got the precision drive, because Fractal has finally modeled that and put it in there. The 5150 model. Put a little EQ here just to kind of tame the low end a bit. So it's just a taste, but it's a very simple patch, and I think it sounds pretty good, right? Moving right along. What do we have? We got like a good old clean. It's a basic clean here. What did I use for this one? What could we use? We could use warm and fat. Let's see how that sounds. Just pleasant. And then we've also got these roomy things. So this is kind of cool. In fact, let's just add it to this one. So one thing that's cool, let's see, what would be good? Let's go with like the ported one. Then rather than using this mic, we can use this room mic. And that's a really cool, you get this like, I mean, it sounds, it's captured in the room. So you're getting this sort of very close room. You're not going to get like, you know, very dense reverbs or anything like that. But it's this very high quality room sound. And it gives everything a roomy quality. And I use this either, you know, on its own or in addition to certain setups for like, if you ever want that sort of like distant guitar sound, that effect, you might struggle to find a good reverb to do that. So I just do it with this now. And I've been using that trick a lot because it's actually kind of hard to replicate it with a reverb after the fact. This is actually captured. And we have one of these for every cab. So you could just go around and just, you know, do it to taste. Actually, I quite like that one. So this is, I'll just keep messing stuff around, you know, messing with the different settings on this and seeing what I like. It's a nice clean there. Let's go. Add some reverb and delay. Here's a cool little trick. This has nothing to do with the plugin, but I'll just give you a little tip. Especially on the Axe-Fx, I'm running these in parallel, so one's not feeding into the other. So you just got your dry signal here. This you have mix at 100. This you have mix at 100, and you're adjusting how loud it is with the level, so you can hear it. Adding some reverb. All right. So if you ever hear people talk about parallel effects, that's what they're talking about. Very pretty. And you know what? I wanted to just mess with something fun here. What did I use for this one? Let's go with not bad. This is a weird patch. It's a really weird patch. I've got pitch, I've got synth, chorus, got a whole bunch of reverb and delay. I'm like maxing everything out. I'm also using the LFO here, which is set to random to modulate the mix on the Axe-Fx. I know this is becoming a little bit of an Axe-Fx lesson, but let's do this one, the room sound. So now that's just this one. We can also make these all be further away. Sorry for getting distracted there. But yeah, as you can see, you can drastically change the sound of all of this stuff just with a little bit of a different patch. I mean, let's see. So that's a lot more closed in, a little bit more scooped. And a lot of this stuff will work a certain way in the mix. It'll work a certain way double tracked. So I kind of have this Swedish technique thing set up more for like double tracked heavy guitars. But if you have something in the center, you could have a bit more low end. You can have, you know, you could use something more like this divided crunch setup and like maybe have, you know, another thing on here like this. And it won't be too much. You know, it just depends on the context, really. So if we go right back to that first one. Yeah, this is a patch I just made for this. I'm quite happy with that. Anyways, I hope that it's been a fun little overview of what we have to offer with our Studio Zilla Cabs. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon enough.